Okay. Hi. So my name is John, and I'm a relationship manager here at Vuka. So I'll be taking you through what a REIT is, how Vuka comes into play, and how you can leverage it to earn passive income. So a REIT simply is a collective investment scheme that owns
Excuse
and
me,
operates.
John. John, thank you. I think we can give them maybe 2 minutes. I'm
Ah,
seeing people are joining. So far, we have 40.
yes.
So maybe we can give them 2 minutes. But so far, I think we are going to have a very, very interactive session because
Mm-hmm.
quite a number of people are joining. So welcome on board, everyone. Like we said, this is a guest speaker series. So what we do with guest speaker sessions is that we get a lot of questions. People ask us about insurance, retirement rates, and all those cannot be captured in the masterclass. So what we do, once you join the Bojani community, we always find a way to bring guest speakers so that you can learn about diverse topics on investment. And today's is a very, very interesting one. From there now you can see if you have opportunities for diversification, and that's why we're here today. So welcome on board. My name is Robert Ochieng from Abojani. I'm here with my colleague Pia from Abojani as well. And today, John Asio from Vuka will share with us a very, very interesting and futuristic topic. Futuristic for us here in Africa, but it has been in other markets like forever. So that will also just, it will sort of give us new perspectives in that we need to really know what is going out there in the world. That's how you capture opportunities. Personally, if I can share my story, what happened is that back in 2016, since my background is in IT, I really got interested in US stock market, and found some companies known as Advanced Micro Devices, NVIDIA, and invested. So they did so well. So in 2021, I was able to exit the corporate scene and join a startup because the returns that I made there could cater for the family's needs and expenses, things like school fees and stuff like that. So that's why it's always important that as an investor, you should be very open-minded, look at opportunities, then you'll find the ones that make sense to you. So it's always good to know that. And things change. There might be some investment that you are good at, but you might have invested at the peak, or there might be new trends globally. So it's exactly 7:03. So welcome on board, everyone. I can see already have 76 people. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome John, who is going to be with us in the next 1 hour presenting, and he'll then take questions. So feel free to ask any questions that you might have on the chat, and we'll be able to share with John so that he can take you through the session. So welcome, John, and take it all away. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. Sorry for the quick start. So my name is John, and I'm a relationship manager here at Vuka Investment Club. Now I'm going to be taking you through what a REIT is and how you can be able to take advantage of this REIT through Vuka. And as Robert has mentioned, passive income is very important. It's life-changing, if anything. So Vuka is one of these ways you can be able to generate passive income. So if I can get started, now what a REIT is, what you call a real estate investment trust, well, it's a collective investment scheme that pools funds together and invests them in income-generating real estate. So these properties could vary from commercial buildings to residential apartments, industrial facilities, and as you'll get to see, we also have specialized REITs that focus on one asset class in the real estate industry. And for instance, now the whole point of a REIT is that for you as an investor, you will get to earn a share of this income that is produced through this commercial real estate, without the hassle of purchasing or managing any of these properties yourselves. So now REITs are traded through securities in Kenya. By that, I mean, you'll be able to buy a shareholding into this trust. And these trusts are held legally by a trustee. In our cases, in the Econ REIT, our trustee is Cooperative Bank. This is a legal entity that has to have fiduciary to the investor and has to adhere to the trustee deed. And so, as I've mentioned, they're sold as securities into one investment vehicle. So these are many properties in one investment vehicle that are tradable through units. So the amount of properties and the value of these properties will determine how many units are available at any given time and the price of these tradable units. Now, in Kenya, there are two types of REITs. You have the D-REIT and the I-REIT. Now, a D-REIT stands for Development REIT. So this is how, or rather they focus on acquiring land, developing properties on this land. And once these properties are up and running and they start to generate income, this D-REIT can either be converted into an I-REIT or it can sell off property to the I-REIT rather. So D-REITs in Kenya, even I-REITs as well, have a high entry point of 5 million by regulation. And you'll get to see how Vuka allows you to now bypass this. So now, as an I-REIT, as I've mentioned, is income generating. So this could be rental apartments, student hostels, offices, etc. So provided they're up and running and they're generating revenue, then they can be classified, or these properties can be pulled together under an I-REIT. Now, what are the benefits of an I-REIT? Consistent income. That is why you're all here. By law, we have to pay at least 80% of our dividends, or rather 80% of our profits in the form of dividends back to our investors. This is usually paid out twice a year. So it can be very handy when you're retiring, for instance, or if you want to take care of some of your financial needs, let's say paying school fees, taking care of your families, etc. And now REITs also offer diversification in the long term. So you can have your other investments and then also invest in REITs. Of course, it's always good to diversify. Now, REITs are also very transparent. Since we're regulated, we have to share financials at least twice a year. Of course, there's the interim and the full year financials. We have to show you how our properties have performed, the profits that have been generated, the unit price, etc. Now, the units that you'll also be trading will experience capital appreciation through either regular rent escalations or when the properties in the REIT are valuated. So REITs are very easily accessible in our case, especially, and you do not have to deal with the complexities of purchasing or selling of physical properties. So REITs actually keep your investment liquid. And in terms of liquidity, you can either buy units anytime you feel like, or you can liquidate your full portfolio, or even you can even do it partially if you want to, at your discretion. And then one other major advantage of REITs is that they're pretty much tax exempt from income or corporate taxes. Actually, like shares in the NSC, you do not get to experience capital gain tax on your investment. The only tax you will experience is a dividend taxation. That's a 5% withholding on your profits that will be paid out to you, and it's deducted at source. So now there are 4 REITs in Kenya as we speak. It's a fairly new market in the country. Now the first one was Ilam Fahari I-REIT. I believe they floated an IPO in 2015. And they were recently delisted from the main board. So their shares are trading under the unquoted securities platform, where they're privately bought and sold. We have the Lab Trust Imara I-REIT, which is another restricted REIT. I believe investors will be able to partake in this I-REIT in 2026 when they'll make their units available to the public. And we have the Econ D-REIT and the Econ I-REIT. So as I've mentioned, the D-REIT is how we develop our properties from the ground up. And once they become once they're in operation rather, the IREIT will purchase properties from the DREIT, and you as an investor in the IREIT will get to benefit from the revenue that is generated from these properties. And anytime a property is added to the IREIT also increases in value, meaning that the tradable units will also increase in value. So Vuka as a platform is 100% digital. It is regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, and it now gives you access to the IREIT. That is the Acorn Student Accommodation Income Real Estate Investment Trust. And currently it has Kwetu properties, and in the future we will also add our second brand, Kejani, which also focuses on student accommodation. So Vuka at least will give you the opportunity to invest in real estate without the high cost of purchase that will come with a direct or traditional real estate investment. And our quote here from our CEO exemplifies that. We're trying to offer retail investors the opportunity to, grow with Acorn, because we managed to see a gap in the market in terms of student accommodation. So these properties are income generating, they're well governed, they're professionally managed, and you'll be able to invest with us without taking the risks that are involved with a direct real estate investment, which are quite many in Kenya. And so now to this slide, you'll be able to achieve growth through our REIT, the IREIT specifically. And as I've mentioned, Vuka is 100% digital. You'll open your account digitally. You'll be able to trade your units on a digital platform. It's very user-friendly and convenient. So these are the income properties that are managed by Vuka. The first three that were included were Kwetu Jogoo Road, Kwetu Ruaraka, and Kwetu Wilson View. Now, Kwetu Jogoo Road was the first property that we built, and these were the first properties that were included in the REIT. Now, in 2021, rather in 2022 actually, we added Kwetu Parklands and Kwetu Aberdare Heights. So this, as I've mentioned, will increase the revenue pool available to you as an investor who's looking forward to dividends. And when the properties are added, then it adds value to the REIT, meaning that your principal investment also appreciates in value while it earns you passive income. And as of last year, we added Kwetu Hurlingham and Kwetu Aberdare Heights too. So these are the 7 properties currently under Vuka that you'll be investing in. So at least you're investing in tangible assets that are already profit-making. Now I'm going to introduce you to Jennifer, Lucy, and Mark, who are all at 3 different stages of their careers. So they're earning different incomes, but they can either leverage time or money to make the most out of Vuka. Now, with Vuka, if I can compare it to other investments, the whole point of Vuka, as I've mentioned, is that it allows you to invest in real estate with whatever funds you have available at your disposal for the long term. So there's that affordability aspect. It's quite convenient. You just have to have a Vuka account. You log in anytime, you purchase shares, you can sell them anytime you feel like. And the tax incentives that also come with investing in a REIT. Now, as I've mentioned, the only tax you'll experience with Vuka or the IREIT is the 5% withholding tax on each dividend payment. And we are mandated by law, by our regulators, to generate, or rather to distribute our net profits at least 80%. And as the Acorn IREIT, we've actually had a good track record. We've gone above and beyond to offer even 90% in some instances. And you get to invest in quality assets. If you compare that to rental units, you may get stable income. You may have the quality assets, but you will not have the tax incentives, that's for sure. And they're not assets that are easily acquirable, and they're not affordable either. Plots of land is a quality asset because it will experience capital gain, especially if it's located in a prime area, but it will generate no income whatsoever. So it's a dead asset, if I can call it that. So you'll find it will not give you stable income, has no incentives, it's not convenient, and it's not affordable. Now, if you come to our securities markets, the NSCs, you may invest in quality assets. I'm not saying shares are a bad investment at all, but and they may offer you dividends, but they're not mandated by law to pay you dividends. If I can give an example, during the COVID era, when everyone wanted to hold on to their money, banks were not paying dividends, even your Safaricoms, your EABLs, etc. But they're quite convenient to get over the stock market, and they're affordable too. I believe a minimum investment on the NSE is only 100 shares. Now, insurance investment periods are known for their tax incentives. However, they're not convenient in terms of flexibility. When if you are to miss a premium, for example, can get very harsh punishments. And I cannot say they offer stable income as well. With some of these insurance products, you'll only be able to benefit when something happens or at the end of the life cycle. Now, if I can compare Vuka to a money market fund, which is a very popular investment right now, and a good one at that, a short-term one, is that there are no tax incentives. As I mentioned, with Vuka or the REIT, you only get to pay 5% withholding tax. With the money market fund, I believe that is at 15%. And so that reinforces my point where at least Vuka will hit all these targets. So like if I can go back to Jennifer, Lucy, and Mark, I had mentioned they're all earning different incomes at the end of the month. So they'll have different responsibilities as a result. And so what Jennifer can do, being the lowest earner here, she can save consistently, even if that means 7,000, which will translate to 70 or 10% rather of 70,000 salary. If she does that for 20 years, she will have invested a total amount of 2.78 million. And with our projected returns at the end of those 20 years, she would have accumulated at least 6.61 million, assuming she reinvests her dividends. And of course, she does not sell off her shareholding at any point, because she'll also be experiencing capital gain on her principal investment. So if she stops investing after those 20 years, she'll be earning a payout of at least 654,000 roughly when it comes to both dividends and capital gain. And we have Lucy, who earns more and also has a dependent. So because she's a bit older, she may want to invest for a shorter time. So in that case, she'll choose to invest more. So she can invest 10% of her 200,000 salary, which is on the lower side as per this presentation. And at the end of the period, she'll have invested 5.4 million. And with our projected rate of returns, she'll have accumulated 10.6 million, which will earn her at least $1 million every year if she was to stop investing after that, after the 15-year tenure. And now let me take you to Mark, finally, who is our highest earner, but he's also the oldest, so he's closer to retirement. So he'll invest for much shorter time, 10 years, but he'll choose to invest more. That will be 35,000 shillings every month. And so just like the other examples, he'll have invested at least 5.28 million, and the total return plus the principal will be at 8.32 million accumulated at the end of that 10-year tenure. And the year-on-year payout after that would be roughly 869,000. So the whole point of these examples is to show you that regardless of where you are in your career, in your life, the different ways you can leverage these products to be earning passive income. Sorry. So now, why did we choose student accommodation? So in our case, we believe there's a very big gap. We currently have over more than 240,000 students in our universities who do not have ready accommodation on the campus. So even if we were to expand our portfolio, we currently have, apart from the 7 properties that I've mentioned in Vuka, there's some that have still not been included in the REITs, and we want to expand that portfolio. We currently have, I believe, 6 properties under construction. Even if we were to pull all those properties together, we'd only capture 10% of these 240,000 students, And of course, we're not going to run out of students anytime soon. So this is a very good asset class to invest in. As I had mentioned earlier in the presentation, we have specialized REITs, and ours is one of them. I believe it's the first one in sub-Saharan Africa that focuses on student accommodation. And you'll be able to partake, rather, you'll be able to join us on that journey if you're to invest with Vuka. And of course, the brands here that I may not have mentioned, there is Kejani, which will also focus on student accommodation. And there's Palma, which will focus on affordable housing for people in the entry-level market when it comes to their careers. So now, how do you join Vuka? You just need to register using a link or an invite that will be sent to you if you're interested in joining. And the different categories depending on how much you'd want to invest in a year. So for instance, we have the silver category where you can invest any amount below 100,000, and it has a joining fee of 299 shillings. With gold, you can invest up to 200,000. It has a joining fee of 499 shillings. Platinum up to 500,000 in a year. I should have mentioned that these limits can be met within the course of a year. So there's platinum with a limit of 500,000. It has a joining fee of 999 shillings. We have platinum plus with an upper limit of 1 million over the course of a year with the 1499 joining fee. And there's now the diamond where you can invest any amount above 1 million, and it has a joining fee of 1,999 shillings. And of course, if you want to invest as a group, there's a category known as the Chama category. We encourage people to invest at least a minimum of 300,000 in the course of the year. Now, if you notice, our investment product does not have an annual fee like most investments. So the only time you will pay a fee is when you're joining. And if you're to liquidate your investment after your desired tenure, you'll only pay a 1% transaction fee. And that is pretty much it as far as the fees are concerned. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Feel free to ask any questions. I believe I should be handing over to Robert.
Wow, thank you very much, John, for the great presentation. I can see you have quite a number, 160 people who have joined.
Yeah.
And I think someone had said, please tell us more about the 3 investors. We want to hear their stories, which I believe we shared.
Yeah.
Winnie is saying she was a bit late, but could you repeat, like if you wanted to invest, where would you begin, where physical offices? Though I heard you say it is purely online, how safe is it? Are they regulated by CMA? I tried calling CMA to confirm whether you are regulated, didn't answer. So Winnie, I don't know if we're an alumni of Bojani, or you've ever been to any of our masterclass. So I think yesterday you went through how to do due diligence, and also usually do it through the masterclass. So if you go to CMA website, they usually have a list of all the licensees. Yeah, so from their own website, so you can actually verify and confirm that. But you can also go to CMA offices physically in Upper Hill, yeah. So it's much easier just to close it down if you have any thoughts or questions here. I don't know whether you have anything to add there, John, before we proceed to the next question.
Yes, I do. So, sorry. Now, yes, we are purely online, but we do have offices. That is Akon House, second floor, along James Gishuru Road in Lavington, 97 James Gishuru, if I'm being exact. So that is where our head office is located. And yes, we are regulated by the CMA and Akon Investments Management Limited, which is the company that owns Vuka, is a licensed REIT manager. So you can look us up there. And the D-REIT and the I-REIT are authorized REITs in the CMA website. So, but I believe that has been mentioned by Robert. Yeah.
Thank you, John. There's a question from MK. How long does the 1 year year-on-year payment last? As in, for how many years will it be paid? Is it perpetual or it stops at some point?
Yeah, so it is perpetual. Now, the whole point of Vuka is that it's a wealth accumulating product or a wealth tech product. So the idea is that, like for the example that I gave, you invest for a period of 20 years consistently because your consistency will also matter. And then at the end of that financial period, if you want to stop your investment, you will continue earning your perpetual returns. The caveat is your investment has to remain with us. If you sell your shares, of course, you'll experience a capital gain that you'll have earned up until that period, but you'll no longer be earning dividends, which is the whole point of your investment, so that you can be earning passive income. Yeah. I've
Thanks
answered
for
that
that,
fully.
John.
Okay.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, you can share on the chat area. We'll be sharing them with John. So John, there are two questions here. First, someone is saying, can they downgrade from the levels in case they have an income loss or loss of income?
Yeah, good question. So now, when you choose a level, for instance, let's say you choose platinum with the intention of investing over 500,000 in a year, but God forbid something happens and you're not able to, there's no need for downgrading. There are no penalties involved if you, let's say, miss a premium, if I can call it that. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, this is an advantage as opposed to, let's say, an insurance investment product. So the following year, when you're renewing a subscription, you can do it for free. So you can still renew to the same subscription. There's no need at all for downgrading. Yeah.
Great. So the next question is, could you talk about being tax exempt, but 5% withholding tax?
Okay, so what I mean by tax exempt, for instance, since you're buying tradable units, you're investing in a security. So other securities in the NSC, for instance, if you're to buy Safaricom shares, you'll experience a capital gain tax. As of January this year, I believe that amount went up to 15%. So we are exempt from that tax. And if you're to own property, for instance, I believe there's a stamp duty tax, but we're also exempt from that tax as well. Now, there's that 5% withholding tax that we're not exempt from, but it's reduced either way because your typical investment will charge you 15% withholding tax on your returns. So perhaps I should have clarified. I hope that's clear.
Yeah, I hope they've gotten it right. The next question, what are the projected annual earnings?
Okay, so the projected annual earnings, this average has been done over a 10-year period because REITs are long-term investments. We project to earn 11.1% per annum on average with the properties that we currently have. And the good thing is that Vuka is an investment that is constantly growing. So by that, I mean we're constantly adding assets to the REIT, which increases the value of the REIT, meaning that your principal investment also grows by that value. So that is why Vuka is a very good platform for passive income in the long run. Yeah.
Thanks for that. There's still another question. If someone wants to move levels, let's say from silver to gold, what would happen?
Okay, so it's very easy. When you have your own account, you will notice that the option to upgrade is there. So assuming you've chosen silver and before the end of the year, you've actually hit that limit of 100,000, you'll just be prompted to upgrade to a category of your choice, depending on how much you'd like to invest in a year. And the good thing is that you'll only pay the difference in joining fees. You will not pay the full amount for the new category. So that will create the perception, the impression that you chose that new category from the word go.
Hey, great. The next question is, could you please repeat the difference between D rate, which I believe is development rate, and the I rates?
Okay, no problem. So for the development rate is how we construct our properties from the ground up. This has its own set of investors, and you as a Vuka member will not be able to invest in the D rate. What happens is after the property has been constructed and it has been in operation for at least 12 months, and it has at least met an 80% occupancy rate for a period of 3 months continuously, then it qualifies to go into the REIT. So I mentioned the property will be bought by the REIT from the DREIT, and now you as an investor in the REIT will be able to benefit from the property in the REIT, the new additional property or the added property.
Great. There are quite a number of questions.
Yeah.
Which is good. It means that people followed through, or that they have a lot of interest here.
Yeah.
Do you have an app, and can shares be invested through Checkoff?
So currently we do not have an app, but we have the web app. So you'll be able to log in using the website once you've opened your account. Now, in terms of Checkoff, that would be dependent on your employer, but I do know we do have standing orders from the bank.
Yeah, great. There's a question: can foreigners invest in Vuka?
Okay, so foreigners can invest in Vuka if they're residents and they have the valid alien card and KRA PIN. So that will only apply to foreigners who live in Kenya and who've met those conditions.
Okay, great. The other one is, I think people just want to be assured of the projected capital gains and returns, but I believe we should always know that there's investment risk here. So considering real estate is part of alternative assets, which is high risk, what are the returns customers make? Talk about income, returns, and capital gains.
Okay, so for us, we've structured our REITs to offer different returns depending on the risk associated with the REIT. So now with the DREIT, it is exposed to all the risks that come with a real estate investment. So it will give much higher returns, but as I've mentioned, it has a very high entry point. For us, we actually put it at 20 million. So it's mostly institutional investors who have invested in the DREIT. And as far as the REIT is concerned, you see, by having tangible assets, it removes all those risks involved with a direct real estate investment. So that is why now we give the projected returns of 11.1%. I hope I've answered the question.
Great. Thanks for that. Brazil Masabo is asking about the masterclass. So we'll share towards the end, but basically the next masterclass will run in April, and it will be running for 3 weeks. So we'll be sharing that towards the end, but you can also check it out from our Twitter handle. Yeah, Larry's asking how much were dividends per unit for the last financial year. I think that has been shared. Someone is saying, can you make one-off payment, say 5 million at once?
So sorry, Robert, to take you back. So we've not yet released our financials for last year. So that is not information that we have. But towards the end of March or the beginning of April, we will share that with the public. Sorry, to answer MK. Okay, yes, you can make one-off payment of 5 million at once, of any amount actually. You just need to have a Diamond subscription on our platform.
Thank you for that, and thank you for the clarification. Is one guaranteed returns in case of insolvency?
Okay, so as I've mentioned, the REITs, the legal owner of the REITs is the trustee. And I should also mention that these properties are separate legal entities of their own. So in case anything was to happen to Akon Investments Management Limited, there would be a court order, I assume, that would appoint another property manager who will just continue taking care of these properties. So you as an investor should not be affected. So there are structures in place that have been put to mitigate such redundancies. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of questions. How does one track capital appreciation in REITs investments?
Good question. So when you log into the platform, the thing is about our capital gain is that it's not volatile. We are not listed on the main board. We are listed in the USP. Now, the advantage of that is that if you're listed on the main board, factors such as supply and demand will affect your share price. So for us, the only thing that will affect the share price is what we call the net asset value of the properties, meaning the share price will only change when the properties are reevaluated or when we add additional properties to the REITs. So that makes Vuka a very stable investment for your long-term needs. And sorry, I think I lost track of that question. Yeah, but you'll be able to track capital gain on the platform. And we will also be giving you timely reports on what to expect in terms of returns.
Thank you. There's a question: in case of loss of an investor, what happens to his or her investment as well as their next of kin?
Okay, so on the Vuka platform, there's an option for listing your beneficiaries. Currently, I believe you can only list one, but we're working on including listing a couple of beneficiaries just in case something also happens to the one beneficiary. Yeah.
There's a question from Nancy Washira. She says she's used the link shared on the chat, which is invest in Vuka. I think there's a link there in the chat that you can copy for anyone who wants to try out the investment. And she says that she's getting an error that her details already exist. Please let me know how to proceed. So Nancy, for that one, you can get in touch with us at Abojani. If you are in any of our community, you can inbox us. Hope that helps. But in case of anything, just inbox us on Twitter, or you can write an email, learning@abojani.com. And I think also there are some details here at vuka.co.ke. So I believe those are enough contact details for you to be assisted.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So someone is saying they didn't get interest rates. I believe that has been answered several times. And again, one guy is saying, what about if you put a lump sum? I think that one was already answered. You'll be getting returns based on your outstanding investment amount, right, Mr. John?
Yes. So just to clarify, those are just examples because you're targeting everyone. So whether you can invest a lump sum, whether you want to do monthly investments, the choice is entirely yours. You will get your returns based on the amount that you've invested. Yeah.
Okay, and Susan says that she was not able to get any units from the offer that you recently gave, and she just wants a reassurance if there will be an offer coming out soon. So it means you have too much demand, Mr. John. Susan is here asking you.
Yes. So currently, our units were exhausted at the end of February, but Susan can still invest even in this month. Why I say that is because when there will be shares available next month, they will be available at a higher price because of the properties that we have added. So the existing investors will be able to benefit from the capital gain that it will offer. However, there are some shares or units rather that will be floated at a discount through what we call a rights issue that she can still take advantage of. So what she will do, she can just load her dynamic wallet, and from there she'll be able to take advantage of those discounted units because they are limited. But provided you have funds, you will not miss out, I can guarantee.
Okay, great. How long does withdrawal take?
Okay, so when you sell shares with the units on our platform, they are processed on the last day of the month at midnight. Now, the following day, your units will be liquidated into your wallet. We call it a dynamic wallet for those who are not investors. And if you're to initiate a withdrawal from that wallet, you should be able to receive your funds in the course of that week.
Great. Interesting questions. If you don't wish to reinvest your dividends, can you get the annual returns and just keep capital gains for the long term?
Definitely. That option is also available. If anything, if you are to, let's say, reinvest your dividends for that 10-year period in, like, for instance, in one of those examples that I gave, at the end of that 10-year period, the whole point is that your units will be substantial enough to generate a substantial amount of dividends that can easily take care of your financial needs. So you'll have the option to withdraw and get to benefit from them as your principal investment keeps on growing on our platform.
Great. How soon? Yes, I think someone is asking a question that has already been answered. Is there a minimum lock-in period when you cannot take out cash?
There's no minimum lock-in period. So for instance, if you are to invest this month and you have an emergency 3 months down the line, you can easily liquidate your shares. And as I've mentioned, they'll be processed on the last day of the month and you receive your funds the following week. But being a real estate investment, we advocate for the long term. So the optimal investment period is 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. And I just want to encourage everyone here, from a money management point of view, real estate is long term. It's not the place to put your emergency fund. So when you are planning, please look at this as long term. Just like a child grows or someone goes to school, it takes 4 years for them to complete, which is like the nature of the investment. So it's just good for you to match your goals with how that specific investment option works. Then there's feedback from Hilda, which says you should try have two-factor authentication. I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Yes, so what are the benefits of, say, diamond, silver in case of liquidation? So the categories is being asked by Njeri.
Okay, so the categories themselves do not offer any tangible benefits. But of course, if you're to invest more, you'll fall in a higher category, and if you invest more, you'll get more returns. It's just how we chose to structure our products on a subscription model. Yeah.
Thank you. I think that is it. So if there's anyone who, if you have any question, you can type on the chat area. I will gladly answer them and also share with the Econ team. As for the recording, I insist if you can join our different communities. I think I'm just going to share our Telegram group there shortly so that you can take advantage of that and join. Once you're in those groups, you'll always get the recordings. So someone is saying, I think, Hilda, please get in touch with the Econ team. Yes, it's always important to follow up if there are issues or if you want to be assisted. So someone is saying, do you offer unsecured loan using capital investment as collateral? I believe Econ is not a lending company, but on the part of collateral, I think you can guide us, Mr. John.
Okay, from our end, we do not offer the investment as collateral. That I guess would be dependent on who you're getting the collateral from, and perhaps the unique nature of the agreement.
Okay, great. Yeah. So that is it. I'm sharing the Telegram link. So if you join our Telegram group, you'll be able to get any kind of support that you need. There's a question here from Martin, who say, what happens to my investment in case of global recession? So that's a very interesting question that Martin is asking.
Okay, that's a good question. So there are a lot of fundamentals that would be affected in terms of our global recession, which may not be easy to point out at the time. But what I can tell you is that at least unlike the stock market, which will not be affected by market conditions, your investment will continue being stable. Now, as I mentioned, we have no idea really what a global recession would do in terms of, let's say, student occupancy, etc. but at least the shares of your investment will always appreciate in value because it's backed by tangible assets. Yeah, I don't know if that's
yeah, and I think also from me as an investment advisor, I'll just say that when it comes to investing, ladies and gentlemen, actually real estate is the most resilient, like Gerard has shared.
Hello, Robert, are you still there?
I think he might have dropped off.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just shortly.
Okay,
but in the meantime, if there are any remarks that you would like to share with us before we close off, and before Robert closes off, perhaps this is the opportunity. You could share some of the, remarks that may have not been addressed. John?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, in case there's anything more that you'd like to share with us in regards to what you may have not addressed, you can take this opportunity to just share as Robert rejoins us.
Okay, on mine, I don't believe there's anything to add. I just have to reiterate that when it comes to Vuka, the longer you invest, the better. And there are tangible assets that will back your investment, which are continuously being added to the existing pool. So I don't think other than that, I have anything to add, other than thank you for attending.
Yeah, thank you very much, John and Vuka team, for the great presentation. For any questions, you can inbox us. If you are joining here, I've shared the link on Telegram. And the person who asked about the masterclass, it will be happening next month. And next month is a very big month for us since it is Financial Literacy Month. So keep following us online, keep learning about Econ and Vuka REITs through our Twitter channel and also through their website, and ask them questions so that you can get the right information and feel comfortable before you can invest. I think that is it from end. If there are any final questions, we can ask. I think they're just comments from here. Very good comment from Gerard, who says, real estate is one of the most resilient investment, especially if you're in a growing market with high demand like Vuka. Yeah, so that is true. And again, we've said, as an investor, just to be open-minded. It is a very, very good mindset to be open-minded, diversify, manage your money well from short-term to long-term investment options. So like for me, if I look at rates, that would be for diversification and long-term. So that already my mind will have matched how that investment asset class behaves. So thank you very much, John. And thank you everyone who joined. I think at one point in time we had over 160 and now we still have 165 and people have asked a lot of good questions. Yeah. So we'll share the recordings, and also from the recording you can watch and get as much information as you wish. And we look forward to having another session within the next 2 months. So keep on following Abojani, Vuka. We'll try to bring as many sessions as possible, probably 4 to 6 in a year, so that you can get enlightened on these new investment options. So again, that means that when you pass by Strathmore and you see that Kwetu hostel, now you can make a connection. If you are on your way to town, I think at Hurlingham. So that's now how investors think. Try to connect with the things that you're investing in so that it brings the point closer home. Other than that, I want to thank both the teams from Econ, Vuka, Ian, Elvis, John for bringing this to us, and also Pia and Abojani team for coordinating behind the scenes. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day, depending on where you're connecting from. Bye-bye.
Yeah, goodbye.